Careful around Mother. She's more vicious than she looks. Careful around Mother. She's more vicious than she looks.
You've finished it, Captain. You've put Gorgon down once and for all. Join me for a toast in the drawing room. I do believe you're due a reward.
After all we've seen of this lady, are we sure this ain't a trap?
Hand to law, Captain. I mean you no harm. I'll have a drink waiting.
So this was your plan all along, was it? Fill my head with empty promises until I lowered my guard, then stab me in the back? It isn't the betrayal that gets under my skin. Betrayal and I are old friends. It's the disrespect. I'm thoroughly disappointed in you, Captain. You and Mother have done everything in your power to stop me, but here I stand, and here you fall.
Deft hands, Cap.
This unit is under construction. Thank you for your...
Captain, I believe a celebration is in order. The Gorgon project is dead, and we are not.
Well, I'm always up for round two.
Speak up, Captain. I can't hear a thing when you mumble like that. Well, to time then. And burying the past beneath 10 tons of toxic rubble. Shall we toast? May they meet the justice of the blade, bullet, or pen, whichever is most expedient. It's funny. When Spacer's Choice released Adrenatime to the public, and began the Marauder crisis, and I sabotaged all the Gorgon facilities, I thought that was the end for me. Then you came along and changed everything. I find myself at loose ends now, Captain. What happens next? I'll gladly humor one or two for the executioner of Gorgon. I certainly did. Spacer's Choice's negligence sent Halcyon into a tailspin, and they refused to pull Adrenatime from the market to stop it. They forced my hand. I ended the project the only way I could, by destroying everything. I began by shredding all of the personnel files in the Office of Creative Incubation. Clarence was so alarmed by my barbarism, he forgot to call the corporate guard. All his precious numbers and all their precious rows. I should have set fire to them. I released the test subjects from human inquiry and auditing. The ghastly things we did to those people. Marion was screaming, I think, though by this point, my memory's hazy. Everything had gone a bit red. My blood was up, you know. If anyone had dared to stop me, I would have snapped them in two. Compound harvesting, enrichment, and molecularization. My second home. Well, my first home, really. Jasper had been doing some personal work there after hours. Something about primals and mirror neurons. I set the primals free. They tore through the lab like it was made of wet toilet paper. Funny thing about mirror neurons. You can empathize with something and still decide to destroy it. Anyway, that's how it happened. Gorgon's first fall. It's not a pretty tale, but the truth rarely is. I had faith a strapping heroine would come along someday and do it for me. I'm joking, obviously. You were a bolt from the blue. Or the black, as it were. 2 reasons, actually. I couldn't bear to kill so many of my staff, even though our work killed exponentially more colonists. I didn't want to give up on my research, even after all it had cost us. In those early days of the Marauder epidemic, I still believed I could fix Adrenatime. As time went on, I became convinced I could cure the Marauders. But once again, Spacer's choice has forced my hand. This time through my daughter. And I have to let that dream die too. Children do not remain so forever. She grew up, and we grew apart. I could have tried harder to reach her, to support her. I know. But I confess, I always found my work more engaging than child-rearing. And Minnie and I had so little in common. In the end, my distance seemed a blessing. Ah. I see my daughter wasn't the only one poking about the estate in my absence. Old wounds, Captain. Just because they no longer hurt, doesn't mean they haven't left a mark. Shutting Minnie out of Gorgon was the most difficult decision I ever made. Harder even than giving up Adrenatime. You've done me and Halcyon an incredible service in finally putting Gorgon to rest, Captain. But we are still strangers. In Minnie's favorite serials, the heroine was usually the one asking the questions. I suppose this is no different. For all the good it did, they got their hooks in her eventually. I might not be much of a parent, Captain, but that doesn't mean I didn't love my daughter. Her safety has always been my first priority. That it meant staying far away from me. Well, we all make sacrifices for those we love. What else might I answer for you before you go, Captain? Down there, on Gorgon. It was, but I had my work to keep me company. Work, and a great many number of ghosts. I was obsessed with the notion that I might find a cure for the Marauders. That I could right the tremendous wrong we'd done to them. I think I was a little mad. Perhaps I still am. I wanted to do it all on my own, to fix everything myself. But the problem of the Marauders was too complex for me to solve. And with Gorgon gone, it will remain that way. Not for lack of trying. I had some close calls in the early years, but Marauders aren't especially observant. Easy enough to tiptoe past with practice. Before I explain, there's a critical detail you must understand. Halcyon is in the midst of a slow-moving crisis, one that will not improve on its own. The board knows this, but they're not lifting a finger to address it. In the absence of their leadership, I thought I could bridge the gap. So I tried to create a drug to expand our workers' minds and improve their bodies, help them work harder, longer, and smarter. With everyone at their best, I thought the colony might be able to innovate itself out of this hole. I wanted to save our sorry hides. No one else was acting. Somebody had to do something. Surely you've seen the nonsense the other corporations have been wasting their time on. diet toothpaste? Honestly, at least I was trying to help. And the pharmaceuticals, you might have noticed, are the only things I'm good at. Not leading, not parenting. Only this. Only the work. If Spacer's Choice had given me time to perfect Adrenatime, I know I could have done it. My drug could have saved Halcyon. Constantly. In the end, I decided our collective survival was more important than my ethical qualms. No one gave me that right, and I did nothing to earn it. I only did what I thought was right. But I regret what No, what I did to the colony. Every day. Was there anything else you wanted to discuss before I bid you farewell? Of course. Anything else? Or shall I let you see yourself out? Maybe I'll find a handsome little bolt hole out there in the aether, and endeavor to keep a low profile, as they say. Maybe I'll pick up a soothing, useless hobby, like watercolor painting. Spacer's Choice will want to take their turn at revenge, and I'd rather not be within reach when they do. Wilhelmina's artwork. Oh, look at this. It's just awful.
Yeesh, that's cold. Even for her.
Oh, please. The colors are muddy, the shadows are all wrong, and it hardly looks anything like a canid. May I keep this? I'll take that as a yes. Thank you, Captain. I think it'll look a treat on the walls of my hideout. Memories and all that. This colony has enough mad scientists running rampant, I think. I've had my fill of all that for this lifetime. Well, it's time we stop looking back and turn our eyes to the stars. Where will the future lead you, Captain? Halcyon doesn't deserve your tireless efforts, but I'll be damned if she isn't lucky to have you. In any case, I do believe this is the end. Law willing, Adrenatime is dead for good, and the Marauders will die out with it. Goodbye, Captain, and thank you again. May the stellar wind be ever at your back.
Getting our leg exercises in, at least. Everyone all right? Sorry, I remembered the fountain.
It's gonna be fine. We can do this. Whoa. Look at the size of this thing. Like some kind of slumbering beast.
I'll give you one thing, little weasel. You are relentless. I did everything in my power to stop you, yet here you stand before me, offensively alive. Just so we're clear, if you intend to restart this machine, you'll have to go through me.
Right won't stop him from doing wrong.
Please avoid damage.
It is under construction. Thank you for your patience.
You've done it! The Gorgon asteroid is under my control. The Ambrose family curse is broken. And my legacy will rise from the ashes in triumph. Thank you, Captain. We're going to change the Halcyon colony. This time for the better. I know we had discussed taking Gorgon in a different direction, but I'm guessing Mother didn't leave you any choice? As for Mother, what's done is done. I grieved for her long ago. The woman who perished on Gorgon was only her shadow. And indeed I shall. I'll see that Adrenatime fulfills its broken promise to this colony. Thank you for your faith in me, Captain. I haven't forgotten your payment. Here's a little extra for your discretion.
I hope she really can help the colony. You can't be everywhere at once after all, Captain.
I'm still not sold on this, but
Suppose the only thing we can do now is hope they get it right the second time.
Of course, my gratitude goes out to your crew as well. Equal contributors all, I'm sure. This has been a long time coming, Captain. I can finally get on with my life, and the colony can begin to heal. Where do you go from here? What heroic challenge will the intrepid Captain of the Unreliable conquer next? Scandalous. I expect nothing less. You have a knack for aiming your sights high and shooting blind. We have that much in common. Good luck out there, Captain. I would wish you safe travels, but I do so admire how you rush headlong into danger. Keep it that way, won't you?
PlayStation